Reimagining Success, episode 218, mini-series 3. You're listening to the Reimagining Success podcast, where we help you design a business and a life that allows you freedom from the 9 to 5. I'm your host, Anna Lundberg, ex-corporate good girl, now a business mentor and coach, author, mum of 2, and I'm here to help you create more freedom, flexibility, and fulfillment. Now let's get started with redefining success outside of the 9 to 5. Hello and welcome back to the third little episode in our mini podcast series, all celebrating the 5 pillars and the launch of my book outside of the 9 to 5. So I hope you've grabbed your copy. I hope those of you who jumped on my invitation earlier in the week already have received your copy, and I hope you're excited to get stuck in. For the rest of you, you can pop on over to Amazon. You can get the paperback at a special half price discount now for the pre-sale period, and then we will be going up to full price. You can also pre-order the Kindle at the time of recording, and if you're listening to this later in the year, you can probably already buy the Kindle version, so that's good news. So, Pillar 1 on Monday was finding your definition of success. Pillar 2 yesterday was cultivating confidence and resilience, and Pillar 3 today is choosing the right business model. So, I talked already in the last couple of days on how important those foundational modules are, because I'm sure a lot of you will say, especially if you've been in business for a while, yeah, I know all that, I just want to get into the meaty bit, right? But I say, don't do it. And you haven't been able to do it this week because I've been drip feeding you the content. But I really ask you to, when you get your book, to trust me, trust the process, and start from Pillar 1. Now, it's not that actually the chapters are sequential in a way. They take you through in a very logical sequence, but in ultimately you're going to have to end up working on all 5 pillars in parallel, right? However, having said that, 1 and 2 really lay the foundation for everything else. So it's tempting to jump into Pillar 3, the third section, to look at the business model, but you won't get anywhere productive if you haven't done the preliminary work. And I take it from the experience of my clients as well. So you start with pillars 1 and 2. They lay the foundation for everything else that we'll look at in Pillar 3 and beyond as well. So, as impatient as you might be to, if you're starting out, get your business up and running, or if you want to make tweaks already to your existing business model, just know that, you will get better results if you really do that work to first truly understand what you want out of your business in life, which is Pillar 1. And then we can work out how we're going to get you there. And then secondly, make sure you've got the right mindset and the confidence that is going to help you achieve your goals, right? So assuming that you've then worked through 1 and 2, we can move to choosing the right business model based on your vision. Now, if you're just starting out, that's exciting, because it means you have a unique opportunity, right, to design this right from the very beginning. On the other hand, if you're already in business, you can actually consider then how you might want to pivot or tweak your current model, develop different products and services and so on. Now, if you don't do this work, if you don't get clear on the business model, and unfortunately a lot of people skip this step, the risk is that you'll end up copying, other gurus and coaches and trying to implement their blueprint for success. And the problem is that they may have a completely different set. I'd pretty much guarantee that they have a completely different set of life goals and financial objectives. They're definitely going to have a different set of skills and interests, and their definition of success is not going to be the same as yours. Now, alternatively, and I mentioned this earlier in the week, you might create an accidental business model where you haven't been intentional in making choices that are going to actually serve you in the long term. So you might end up working with the wrong clients, as it were. You might replicate the patterns from your corporate work, and then your business is actually not going to end up being enjoyable or fulfilling, right? So you might as well just go back to your full-time role. So choosing the right business model is fundamental as to whether you're going to actually experience that freedom, flexibility, and fulfillment that I'm always talking about. The right model is a model that suits your practical parameters, your personal preferences, your lifestyle aspirations, your income criteria, all these things, right? And that's what we'll look at in this third section of the book on choosing the right business model. Now, by the way, I should say at a higher level, the kind of business that I'm usually talking about that I tend to favour is a service-based business where you are an expert, right? It's easier, if you can call it that, to hit the ground running with a service business without the investment in tools, inventory, storage, and so on that you'd need for a product business. A product business usually takes 3 years on average to break even and become profitable. So here I'm really talking about freelancing. You're selling your services to other businesses or individuals, coaching, consulting, so you're providing guidance or support in your field or specialty, teaching what you know, so packaging up your expertise into workshops, courses, programs, and so on, right? These are models where you can leverage your existing skills, experience, and network. You might also, and of course I mentioned this, it was one of the sections of my previous book, Leaving the Corporate 9 to 5, you might consider a portfolio career where you're actually doing a combination of these as well. So we're getting super tangible now, and the first step of this pillar is to get clear on your criteria. So before you even consider any specific business model, you need to know what your criteria are. So based on your big picture vision and so on, everything that's important to you, you then define your criteria so that you can assess the different ideas and options that you have. Then we'll look at identifying the ideal clients that you want to be working with. Well, specifically, we'll look at 2 categories here. So we'll look at companies, B2B or business to business, and we'll look at individuals, what we call B2C or business to consumer. Next, we'll, again, super tangibly look at developing the products and services that are going to bring all this to life. And that means that you have actually something to offer those ideal clients that will bring in the revenue you want. And then finally, we'll look at designing your bigger ecosystem. And that what that means will become very clear. It's a term we used a lot in my corporate days for sort of a brand ecosystem, but it's really all the different touch points, all the different things you're creating and how your customers and clients are actually interacting with you. So that's pillar 3. So again, to recap the 4 steps here, getting clear on your criteria, identifying your client target, creating your products and services, and mapping out your ecosystem. Now, I should say, I might as well, now that we're halfway through the week, that if you are finding that you want more support, this book, in a way, is a companion or sort of a version of my Business Academy. So the Business Academy is a self-directed course, self-paced, self-study, whatever you want to call it, that walks you through these 4 steps on each of the 5 pillars. Videos, interactive workbook, exercises, and so on, right? So that's a great resource. It's a perfect partner, really, to the book. If you're finding, I love a book and I love working through a book, but, if you want it to be brought to life, get the real interactivity and structure and the workbook again to work through, then the Academy is a really great option. So that's onestepoutside.com/course, onestepoutside.com/course to read more about that Academy, which again is sort of a companion in a way to the book, and it's definitely the next step from the book if you want to take it further, because I'm so happy and excited, and it's so rewarding to publish this book, and I so hope it's going to be a valuable resource. But it's one thing to read a book, of course, it's another to actually implement it, and the course will help you do just that. So that's it for today, the 3rd episode of this little mini podcast series. We'll be back tomorrow to look at pillar 4, which is building an effective personal brand. So I'll see you back here then. Bye for now. Outside of the 9 to 5 is the book that continues the story from leaving the corporate 9 to 5. It is a practical guide to designing and building a profitable business that gives you freedom, flexibility, and fulfillment. Check it out and grab your copy at outsideofthe9to5.com. That's outsideofthe9to5.com.